Today, we're going to talk about the top 5 best streaming devices.
While your TV or cable box may be able to stream smart content, the benefit to having a separate streaming device is that it actually will load faster, and some of these do have additional features beyond just streaming, which are really helpful. But also, as content evolves, what we're finding is some smart TVs no longer are able to access the updated versions.
One of the most convenient things, especially with the Fire Stick selection of the Fire Stick family and the Google Chrome Cast, as well as the Apple TV, are the wide selection of apps out there, whether it's photo galleries or streaming content, anything out there, you name it, they have it. What I love about a lot of these two, especially the Fire Sticks, is you can pin your favorite one. So if you are a die-hard Netflix or HBO Max fan, you can pin them right up there, so they'll always stay right there. You know exactly where they are.
Yeah, and it's nice to have the different apps either right on the home screen or on the remote as a button that you can click to jump to it really quickly. Using the voice remote to access content is fantastic. With a lot of these, it's actually going to give you options to how to view it. You know, so with the Shield, which uses just the Google TV, Android TV, that's going to show you all the different places. And instead of like with a Fire Stick TV, where it kind of prioritizes Prime, it's more agnostic, so it'll show all the different places. And that's true with Roku as well. With these, what we like as well is that you can stream movies and stuff using Vudu. You can't do that with the Fire Stick TV, but you can with some of these others. Well, I take that back. You could, but you would have to sideload it, and it's complicated. Yeah. But natively, with some of the other devices, you're going to be able to do that, which is a very popular feature. And if you're into gaming, the Shield TV actually allows you to stream gaming content, which is a really fun feature. A lot of families like that. Then they don't have to have a different gaming system. And then also with the Chromecast, they've got a remote that works right with that, and that can be a lot of fun. Each brand offers 4K resolution HDR with Dolby Vision, the Dolby Atmos that works. So no matter which one you pick, you're going to be able to find one with great resolution.
Some of the best resolutions that we found were in the Fire Stick 4K Max, as well as the Apple TV. I tested both of these on brand new TVs and a little older TVs. And what I did find is that they were both able to upscale on the older TV, so you still got that 4K quality. But on the newer TVs, it was crystal, crisp, and clear, which made the viewing experience all that much more enjoyable.
We found that the higher tier versions of each manufacturer were very responsive. They were quick to start up and load apps. They all have the latest versions, which include the Wi-Fi 6 capability. They all have options to include an Ethernet port, whether that's directly, with the Roku Ultra, or and as well with the NVIDIA Shield. Otherwise, through an adapter with the Fire Stick, the Chromecast, or the other Rokus. Yeah. One thing we noticed when we were testing all of these different products is that the NVIDIA Shield really did the best at the upscaling. So taking regular content that's being streamed online and upscaling that to 4K, that was actually noticeably different between some of the other competitors. And so in that regard, I would say that NVIDIA Shield actually wins in this category.
When it comes to the speed and performance of the Fire Stick, the Google Chrome, the Apple TV, they were all up to the task. I will say, however, that I feel like the Fire Sticks outperformed definitely the Google Chromecast. The Fire Sticks and the Apple TV were a very close tie. I could have called it a tie, but I'm going to give it to the Fire Stick for speed.
Yeah, and with testing between the Fire Stick TV and the Roku, when I was using the Ultra and the newest version of the Roku, honestly, I couldn't really tell the difference. I would say it's negligible, but when looking at the NVIDIA Shield, I would have to say the Shield is probably the fastest, but of course it's the most expensive, so there you go. Next up, we're going to talk about the remotes. So starting with the Roku. If you've watched the Roku video, you know that the Roku remote has evolved over time. And so now, with the latest versions, you've got the headphone jack here for remote listening. With Roku, you can also use your phone to use as a remote, which is really handy when you're putting in like your username or password for when you're logging into accounts, and also great for search. And so I really like that about the Roku system. They also have a feature where you can find your remote if it's lost. So you hit a button on there, and it'll ping the remote, and then you'll be able to find it. And so I think that's a great feature. Fire Stick, their remotes have evolved over time as well. They've added the buttons here at the bottom to get to things faster, and then of course the voice search. And then with the more expensive versions, you do get the volume control and the power control. And same with the Roku. So for that reason, we don't really recommend the entry-level ones. We feel it's worth paying an extra $5, which, regardless of which brand you pick, to get that function. Looking at the Google Chromecast remote, very similar with the selections, volume control, great little remote. Also can be used as a game controller for some of their games. Otherwise, you can use a separate controller. We found that this remote works, it does the job well.
It does.
No complaints about this remote. I would like to see the Find My Remote feature brought to this, as well as Fire TV, which is on neither. The NVIDIA Shield remote, however, does have that Find My Remote feature, which is pretty slick. Again, it's a very similar remote. It's kind of got this weird triangular shape to it, which I don't actually care for. And there's only one button for Netflix. I did notice that when I would scroll using the button pad up here, I'd accidentally click in the middle and then end up clicking into something that I didn't intend on clicking into. Well, let's just call that operator error. But if I was going to nitpick across it, I think I like the Fire Stick TV remote and the Roku remotes the most. But it's just a personal preference. Now, of course, the Apple TV has a really well-designed remote on par for their products.
So in my testing, I was able to test the Fire Stick, the Google, the Apple TV, and a couple things. So my biggest fan is the Amazon Fire Stick, with a close second to the Apple TV. The Apple TV remote is very in line with their different lines of products. You have a good understanding, a good feel. They look very sleek. They look like Apple products. The Google Chrome is really nice. It's small, it's slim. It is a little smaller than a lot of the other ones, as you can see here. So they are easier to get lost, and they don't have a Find My Remote feature, which is kind of a bummer because they do get lost a little easier.
Next up, we're going to talk about some of the different extra features. And this is where the different devices really stand apart from each other. So I tested the Shield, the Roku, and Fire TV at my house. And what I really liked with the Shield TV is all the extra things that it can do. I mean, it really is a computer that is designed as a streaming device. And so with that, you can browse the internet. You can actually set it up as a media server. And so a Plex server, you can play content directly from the device. It's got an absolute ton of space on it to store different movies and stuff. And then you can load various other apps as well. And so it's an Android device and is used as such. And then if you're into gaming, then this is definitely what you want to choose, because they have their own streaming platform where you're able to actually play games without downloading, without like having the content on the device itself. And so it's streaming the content while you play it. If you're looking for something with all the extra bells and whistles, the NVIDIA Shield is an awesome option. It's got great performance, but you certainly, you pay for that. Now, as a Amazon user myself, I've got a lot of Amazon products in our smart home. It's nice to be able to use the Fire Stick TV in conjunction with that. If someone is at the door, they ring the doorbell, that's going to show up automatically for us. And if we're watching Netflix, it'll show up, picture in picture. Then we can flip over and make it into the whole screen. Otherwise, I can use my voice and say, show me this camera, and it can pull up a number of different cameras and show us the live view. So I really like that about the Fire Stick TV. The Roku can be controlled by smart devices. And so I can use a voice assistant to control it. I can use my phone to control it. I can use the app, voice, all that. But you can't use the Roku. You can't use those devices to control other things in your home. Whereas with the Fire Stick TV, you would be able to do that. And the same goes for Google as well. If you've got the Nest cameras and the Nest doorbell, then that works right through the Chromecast. For the Apple users, it's hard to convince an Apple fanboy that there's anything else in the world that's even worth considering. Obviously you're going to pay a premium for this product. but it's worth it. They've got really good features. It's a beautiful design. And if you're already invested in that ecosystem and you want to just have that seamless Apple experience, then we already know that you're going to buy the Apple TV. So just go buy it.
Right.
I mean, these are awesome, but you're going to go buy that Apple TV.
Right.
And if you're a Google boy, well, by all means, the Chromecast is a great option. Our Amazon homies, they're probably going to pick the Fire TV. Everyday users, I think Roku, but our power users, of course, they're going to jump in the comments section and say, why didn't you talk about this feature, that feature, this feature? The NVIDIA Shield is just loaded with features, but you pay a premium price for that. And so if you want all those extra features, by all means, spend the extra money and go for it. Otherwise, you really can't go wrong with any of these streaming devices. It's just really finding the one that is going to work best for you.
Right.
So we hope this video has helped you. If you've enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe. We're going to be doing more content in the future. I think up next is going to be entertainment. So we're going to look at Philips Hue products, compare to them to Govee, see what's better. Is it worth that price premium? Looking at the Philips Hue Sync, which is a really cool thing that you can do to get that bias lighting and really cool effects for your TV. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure to stay tuned.